Hey everybody, welcome to Breakfast All Day. Christy and Alonso and Matt and Christy have seen The Outpost, which I have not, so I'm going to mute myself and look at my phone while they talk about it.
You're not going to eat candy this time like you did last time?
I finished the candy.
People were actually very interested in your candy consumption last week.
Well, y'all are insane for not liking cinnamon candy. I don't know what that's about and who
I didn't say
hurt
I
you.
don't like cinnamon candy.
I don't.
Matt did.
Right, it's gross.
Okay, bye.
Okay, talk about The Outpost, Matt.
All right, so The Outpost is based on a book by Jake Tapper. The book's called The Outpost, An Untold Story of American Valor. It is about the Battle of Kamdesh that happened in, I believe...
October 2009.
Right, 2009. It's the story of U.S. soldiers at a camp in northeastern Afghanistan. Orlando Bloom is in this. Scott Eastwood and Caleb Landry Jones play the two later Medal of Valor winners or award. They were given the award for the Medal of Valor for their actions in this battle. This camp, Camp Keating, named after their commander after he was killed in an accident, is situated in a terrible, terrible, terrible place. It's basically almost the bottom of a box canyon. The roads in and out of it are terrible. It's almost impossible to provide air support quickly, considering the weather or the mountainous terrain. As at one point, as a group of soldiers is on patrol, they can see very easily down to where, every inch of the camp. So, of course, they get attacked by the Taliban, and they're wildly outnumbered, and they manage to survive. And it's this devastating battle. And Rod Lurie, who directed The Contender, treats this very seriously, as he should, and I was really impressed with this. I was in tears by the end. Yeah,
it's very intense. I mean, I really love the way this is shot because let me step back a minute and say that the structure of it reminded me a lot of Full Metal Jacket, in that the first half is all these guys just bullshitting and giving each other grief, and they're hanging out, and they're dealing with the local Afghan villagers, and you get to know them. And the deal with them is that these are not like, SEAL Team 6. This is not an elite squadron. These are regular guys. These are just regular army soldiers, and they've, as you said, they've put in a horrible position where they are just sitting ducks there. The whole second half of the film is this battle. And Rod Lurie, the way that he has shot this, puts you right in the middle of it in very, very long takes without a lot of music to embellish it. I think at the outset, it might look like this very rah-rah, America, fuck yeah kind of movie. And it's not. He does not sentimentalize whatsoever. You really feel like you are in the middle of it. And I think he wanted to make it as realistic as possible. Rod Lurie went to West Point, and he has a great deal of reverence for the military and a great connection with that. And I feel like he wanted to do them justice. This was the bloodiest battle of the war in Afghanistan. 8 soldiers died. And as you said, several were given posthumous awards or Medal of Valor awards.
Right. Well, right. So a bunch of them were given posthumous awards, and Eastwood plays Staff Sergeant Clint Ramisha, who was awarded the Medal of Valor, and Caleb Landry Jones plays Ty Michael Carter, who was previously in the Marines and then is in the Army, and he's early on. You see, like, as he puts it, like, he can't handle all the grab ass. Like, these guys are bored, these soldiers are bored, and they kind of don't know what they're doing. And once they lose Keating, their first lieutenant, who gets killed in an accident, they're already kind of just horsing around waiting to be relieved or get out. But once Keating gets killed, like, their morale goes down really quickly. so, but yeah, you're right. Like it's very intense. And once the battle starts, it's kind of terrifying.
It's very stressful.
It's very stressful. And, you get a good sense of where they've, where the camp, like how the camp works and where things are. And I know I keep saying Medal of Valor. It's Medal of Honor. It's the Medal of Honor that these guys won. I was really impressed. And there is a bit of an arc to Carter's character because he's very standoffish and by the end of it, you see what really starts to matter to him.
He's told like these guys need to learn to trust you. Right.
Yeah,
everyone has to know that everyone has everyone else's back, and they don't know that with him. And so you see him finally find his place and find his purpose within this unit. Caleb Andrew Jones is like stealthy, amazing in everything, but he is the best part of this. It's a really interesting cast. You have a lot of good young actors, some of whom happen to be the sons of very famous people. And so you have Scott Eastwood, son of Clint. You have Milo Gibson, son of Mel. You have Richard Attenborough's grandson. You have Mick Jagger's son,
right,
in a small role. And so it's an interesting cast. But speaking of sons, though, part of the story behind this, if I may for a second, is that Rod Lurie's own son, Hunter Lurie, who a lot of us knew through Twitter, he died on July 2nd, 2 years ago. He died right as production was beginning in Bulgaria. And Hunter knew a lot of us critics because he was a huge film guy himself. And I think he studied film and would engage with a lot of people. He was a really smart, funny kid. He died suddenly and weirdly at this music festival in Michigan, or after having been there. And so Rod Lurie flew home to say goodbye to his son, understandably devastating, and decided to go on with the film because his daughter, Hunter's sister, was like, Hunter would have wanted you to do this. And Rod realized at the moment that his son died that he was the same age as these soldiers who were killed in battle. And that gave him a whole new sense of purpose in telling the story. And so Hunter was like his guiding light the whole way through. And a picture of him was posted on the editing bay as they cut the film, and the film is dedicated to him. I think that gives it all an added sense of poignancy, of responsibility to tell the story and to do right by these soldiers and their families. And I think, not over dramatizing it and not sugarcoating it and not making them out to be more heroic or more manly or whatever. The fact that they're terrified and they're just scrambling through sheer adrenaline and just seat of their pants, making decisions. It's quite moving.
And they're all like, and you start to see this, like, because it then shows you, it mentions some of their ages. Like, they're all in their early 20s for 21, the most part, right? Yeah. Like, they're all like early 20s. Maybe some of the lieutenant characters are in their 30s, but for the most part, they're all like in their, and so, I mean, I know I myself can't think. I'm like, I was ready to lead fuck all in my early 20s. So, and one of the things that I was really moved by was how Lurie, and a couple of times you see, how much they're talking back, like on their satellite phone, talking back to their families. And I think that helps you realize, like, it's so much more than just like, it really helps heighten the stakes, right? That almost all of these have, especially like at one point, you see who each one is talking to. Like, some are talking to their kids, some's talking to their grandmother, one's talking to his mom, and it's like, oh God, these are these are men with families and homes. Right. And they all just want to go home.
Maybe they just got married,
Right. I do want to say, like, I think I've liked Scott Eastwood in this more than I've liked him in a lot of other stuff. But boy, there are some times I'm like, that is Clint's son. That is absolutely Clint's son.
And that was actually the next thing I was going to say. So you led me into that. And it's like, is he going for parody? Because there's a scene where his character is being dressed down by like the latest captain to come and take over, and he's it's like the Magnum Force version of Clint Eastwood, the cop who won't play by the rules, and he has some smart ass remark like, well, we weren't there to sell them popsicles, were we? Or something like that. And there's a couple of points where he squints and he looks up to the mountain ridge line and he's like, motherfucker, or something like that. And he's doing the voice and the squint. And I think he's got enough of an interesting presence to him. Like, he's gorgeous, of course, but also like he's got that thing, that movie star thing. And I wish he would find his own voice within that thing. And,
yeah, I mean, I have to imagine
so much.
That's tough to step out from behind, right? Like when, as a boy growing up, the vision of a strong, stern man is also everyone else in the world's vision of a strong, stern man.
He's your dad.
That's right. Like that might be a little tough to not do. It doesn't take away from it. It was just sometimes like, oh yeah, look, that's Clint's son.
I found it a little distracting, and I'm like, really?
Yeah, a little bit, but yeah, but boy, Caleb Landry Jones and his final scene was just it's a gut punch. It's a gut punch.
He's
I didn't think it was going to be, and
Well, good. So what's your number then?
8.5.
I'm saying 8.3. Our number is 8.4. It's really good. And I think if you're looking at it like, it's going to be like rah, rah, go America. It's not. It's not purely that. It is inspiring, certainly. The sacrifice and what they went through, what they endured is inspiring, but it's not purely like, music swelling and eagles soaring and American flags waving in the background.
It's about them. It's about these guys. It's not about what are we doing here? Why are we doing things? It's about these guys. Right. It's not political. I didn't think that this movie was really political.
If anything, it is an indictment of some terrible decisions that were made, from the military higher ups in terms of why would you put this outpost right there? They're sitting ducks. Like, so if anything, it's critical of military decision making.
I can't remember which one it was, but I once reviewed a Scott Eastwood movie where I said his performance was half Clint and half the chair from the RNC.
Was it that romance? Was it the Nicholas Sparks
Might
movie?
be. If he's getting better, good for him. Like,
And he is. And Orlando Bloom is really good in this too. He got like really bulked up and almost didn't recognize him. He's maybe his best work.
Okay. Well, thanks for watching. Like this video, subscribe to our YouTube channel. Follow us at BeFastAllDay on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. And do check out our Patreon page at patreon.com/BeFastAllDay. Lots of fun exclusive content there for our members. Right now, we are recapping Hulu's Love, Victor. And we've got a survey up right now where you get to pick which film we'll be reviewing later this month from the filmography of Joel Schumacher. So do check that out. Thanks for watching. We'll see you guys next time. Bye.